welcome to Soul Talk. I'm here with my very good friend all the way back from our college days. Callie, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, cause excited to talk to you. I miss you so much, even though we talk to each
Are
other all the
you
time.
sure?
Well, this show we're going to be talking about things that we recently watched, things we recently read, goes all of those like just good things that could be stuff that have recently come out in this year, or it could be stuff that's super old. So it depends on what it is. So we're going to go into what we recently read. So Callie, what have you recently read this past week?
All right. So I'm gonna start off with what I'm currently reading. What I'm currently reading is A Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela. And basically it's like set between like his childhood all the way to when he first became the president of South Africa. It was like the early years. Um After reading the foreword, I felt like it was something that after, the election, it would help just to, understand how to basically heal.
Right.
So I thought that would be a great read. So I'm currently reading that. What I am what I have been reading and still reading is the Yu-Gi-Oh manga, which I'm gonna dive into all sorts of details about that because it's insane. So
All right.
growing up, oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, cause I love Yu-Gi-Oh! It was before I even knew that it was Japanese. Cause back in my DBZ Yu-Gi-Oh! Days, like it was like, oh, I'm just watching cartoons.
Oh yeah, me too. And the craziest thing is like this starts from I don't know if you've ever heard about season 0 in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where this starts. And like forget everything you know about regular Yu-Gi-Oh! People die. Like people get bodied. And I'm like, thought this was a kids like show slash but I mean technically for 13-year-old. But like I'm sitting here and I'm like reading this and we're getting to like, you know, the part where you remember Shadi, the guy with the turban, and
Yes.
he's all like, Yugi, this is your destiny and blah 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 blah. Well, apparently
Don't
they
tell me
met
he dies.
probably. I mean, schoolyard kids are sitting up here either losing their minds or dying, but it's intense.
Sorry, my mom just walked into my room real quick. Sorry about that. 'Cause, but yeah, okay. So why are you making me want to buy this manga now? It's just so I could see Yu-Gi-Oh characters get bodied. How's Seto Kaiba? He's still good?
He's rich and annoying. Like,
So the huge, so the huge.
so the
Okay.
use. Yeah.
All
Like,
right. Anything
yeah.
else you would like to say on Yu-Gi-Oh? You get
You gotta get the manga. It's intense. I was like, bro, bro.
oh man.
I,
'Cause
I
I
thought the Shadow Realm, like, no, literally. Like,
why aren't they showing us this darker stuff? We could handle it as little kids. Probably not. I've been like, oh no, everyone's dead.
wait, the Seal of Orichalcos when I was a little kid, I was like, that's where I jumped off the train. And like in my teen years, I was like, I guess I'll hop back on. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! I love
Right,
it.
right, right. Man, that's another show I need to do a rewatch of. I tried to do a rewatch of like DBZ because I know DBZ Super's out there and I haven't seen Super yet. And I've been told that I need to watch it, but I'm over here like, man, I want to rewatch the original and that's going to take too damn long.
Do it like since we have like this whole, crazy pandemic thing, it's probably just worth it to get into some nostalgia stuff and just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna plug into it.
Right? Well, definitely nostalgia is going to be talking about a little bit later, but I guess I'll go into what I recently read, and that is A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahira Mafi. I hope I'm saying her name right, goes, but she has become one of my favorite authors. She is the author of the Shatter Me. Originally was a trilogy, now it's six. This is my Tahira shelf right here. I got all her books there. I'm really excited for her book that's coming out in 2021. She's doing another contemporary. But this book was published in October 16th, 2018. And as of March 2019, it was optioned for a film by Leviathan Films. And I'm hoping that it's not one of those that got scrapped because of the pandemic, because I would love to see this as a film. Um, it's that this story is set after 9/11, and the main character is Shireen, who's a hijabi wearing Muslim American, and she's also a break dancer, so that's pretty cool. And it's a love story. It's her and a white man. And the white man's a popular basketball player of the school, but he don't give two fucks about what anyone thinks of him or who he's dating, kind of thing. And she's trying to be like, "Yo, you're gonna have to deal with all of this prejudice and racism," and he's like, "I don't care." And so it was one of those where he has to learn kind of just all the racism that she as a Muslim American goes through just by him being in a relationship with her. And it's just this very interesting read. I'm like, as an adult now, I'm like, you guys are 17 years old. You shouldn't be this much in love. But it's super cute. Sometimes you got to think about it like, I try to age up the characters in my head to make it seem more like a sense, like, okay, it makes sense why you're this much in love. But it's still a really great story, and I highly recommend it. She's one of my favorite authors. Like again, I got a shelf of her right here.
That's what's up though. Like I'm gonna have to read that. Yeah. Cause,
It's
I've never really read like love stories, but that actually sounds like a cute one worth read, you know?
with me, I'm super picky with love stories when it comes to like the books that I read because like I don't know what it is. I have to be like in the mood for one, reading a love story, and two, like there has to be like some other element of it. So like there's this element of racism that's in this book, or like there's another book where it was like just her hanging out with guy friends that remind me of the guy friends in college. So I was like, okay, I'll read this love story because it reminds me of my friends and stuff like that. But other than that, like when it was just like a love story for love story's sake, I'm like, I don't want to read this. So
I get
you and I have very similar tastes. I'm like, I'm preaching to the choir right now. All right, so we're adding a new segment this episode for that wasn't on last episode, and that's a recent anime watch, because you and I are big anime fans, obviously from the Yu-Gi-Oh that you just mentioned, the manga that you were reading. So we're going into Ouran High School Host Club, which this is actually a show that I showed you. So do you want to recant on like how that went when I showed you it back in college?
I'm gonna be honest. I wanted to hate it and I was mad at you because I was like, oh, this is not gonna excite me. This is nothing. It's like this stupid lovey dovey anime. And like, no, first of all, like I love her to death. Like her whole independentness, like the fact that she's, this basically she doesn't really follow gender norms because she's like, oh, they're just whatever. I know I'm a girl. I'm comfortable in boy clothes. And if you don't like that, that's your fault. That's your problem, you know?
Right.
Like it's just so funny because when I watched it and when I saw all the characters, I'm like, Haruhi, you need to divide yourself and be with all of them because you are breaking their hearts. Like literally, like even like gosh, I forget the one character's name, but they call him like mommy.
Oh yeah. Oh, what's his name? I think I wrote it down here. Kyoya. Kyoya.
Yes.
He's like my favorite character in the show.
Like even he softened up a little, and I was like,
Mhm.
wow. Because
It's
he
because I got a dose of reality with Haruhi being there because they're all just a bunch of rich kids and it's rich kids doing like the rich kid things, like with no sense of the real world. And so like we're just watching them like total mess of themselves and Haruhi the whole time. It's just like these damn rich people.
like they live this very like when I said it's extravagant. Like so you're right. I was like, hey, can I get into this high school?
Right.
What's this fat tuna she likes so much? This good tuna. This
I love
I
how
want
that's how
some.
they convince her to stay too. It's just like, hey, we'll give you some fancy tuna. And she's like, food? And I was like, oh, a woman after my own heart. Yeah, no, she's so great. Yeah, and like I said, Kyoya is one of my favorites because he's like that calculated, and he was the one that like knew that she was a girl from like right at the beginning, talking to her, and the way that they reveal that she's a girl to all the host club members is just so brilliant because it's all light bulbs in a row. And this all happens in the first episode, so it's really not spoiling anything of the show. But they have light bulbs in a row, and like he's like immediately sees her and is like, "Oh, this is a chick." And like the rest of them, it takes a while. And Tamaki obviously is the last one to figure it out in the show. But yeah, it he's like the smart one. He knows like exactly about finance and knows about like he's very cold-hearted, very analytical, very and yeah, like you said, he even softens up by the end because of having her there.
It really is. Although I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of happy her and Tamaki are together. They're a thing.
Yeah. And
Because
then
he's like the prince. I'm sorry.
oh, I was gonna say even Tamaki too. He showed like there was certain times, even like in the first and second episode, where he showed like he's not just like a regular like rich like asshole. Because like things that happen through it, and he does like good things for people, which you don't expect from rich people, especially in this show. And you're like, oh wow, he's actually pretty cool.
I mean, the host club owned everything, so they could be like, you know what? I don't care. You know what? She dropped her whole wallet into the it was like her backpack or something. They dropped it into the pond or this.
Mhm.
Look, I don't want to go into it. Somebody may not have seen it, and I ain't trying to have people mad at me like, "Oh, you're ruining the anime." But
All right, so now we're gonna go into recent TV watched. So, Callie, what is your recent TV watch?
okay, so I'm gonna start off by saying, well, I don't know. I love Disney Plus, but what I've recently watched on past couple of days is The Blood of Zeus. Now I don't know if you've heard about it.
I
It's
have it.
new.
It's on my list.
Girl, watch it. Like I'm sitting up here, I'm like literally binging this bad boy because like it's so much going on because you got like the main character and you kind of already know from the title that, you know, Heron, the main character, is basically Zeus's offspring.
Okay.
But, you know, basically now it's like the war between the gods because hope I'm not ruining anything because, you know, of course Hera is like, dude, why are you gonna sit up here and like not honor our vow? Like she
Because
was
Zeus is the biggest player in like all of
she should
mythology.
have
Like
known.
he fucks all the hoes. Like he goes after everyone.
Like
Like he's never been
honestly,
faithful a day in his life.
and it was like it surprised her. So now she's big mad and everyone else has to pay for it. Granted, there's more stuff in between, like integral parts of it, but that's the key component. Is like, okay, who do I stay mad at? Because it's like Zeus, we knew he was a dog, but Hera, come on, like, girl. you knew your man. So why are you sitting up here like acting like it's such a big deal. He
And I
cheated
guess
on
their
me.
mythology too, she always got pissed off at the kids, even though the kids had nothing to do with it. So I'm guessing that's probably what happens in the show too, right?
Yes.
Right, well, as you can see here, I have my Percy Jackson shelf and like all of that, so mythology and stuff. So yeah, this up my alley. I'm
Speaking
added
of which,
added even more to my list because it's already on my list, but it's now like
okay.
added to like my super duper list.
Speaking of which, Percy Jackson. Do we know when that's happening?
I have no idea. I think it's gonna be a while, but when it does, I'll be the first to watch it. Like, and hopefully on this channel, if another person enjoys it on this channel, we can do like reviews of Percy Jackson because yo, that is my ish. Percy Jackson is my ish. Percy Jackson, hot take, better than Harry Potter. Not the movies,
Oh,
but the books. Hot take.
can I at you on that, sis?
I mean, you could do whatever. Come in my mentor, sure, fine. All right. Now I'm gonna go into what I recently watched on TV, which is also something that I forced you to watch. So I hope you enjoy. It is also on Netflix, and it's called Rhythm and Flow. And this first came out in 2019, so 50 years ago.
Pretty much.
But season 2 is coming back in 2021, which I didn't find out until I watched like the last episode of it, and it was like season 2, 2021, and I was like, yes, bring me more. I really wonder. So you have the judges Cardi B, Chance the Rapper, and Ti, and I wonder if the three are coming back, or if they're gonna switch up one or two of the judges, or switch up the whole. But I really like the dynamic of those three together because Cardi be Cardi, and like,
Exactly.
and and Tip and Chance on each side of her, like, what's she doing? But so this is a competition for $250,000 to find the best rapper in the United States, and they go to their home city. So Cardi's from New York, Chance from Chicago, Tip from Atlanta, and then they also do an episode trying to find people in LA. So they got the West Coast people there to make sure that they West Coast people weren't too angry because everything else was East Coast and Midwest.
Pretty
But
much.
but I the last 2 episodes, like, those I can watch on repeat. And so in the last episode, it's a collaboration episode where they collaborate with a, R&B artist, and then they do a feature on it. So you have Janae Eiko, Tiana Taylor, Ty Dolla $ign, Tory Lanez, Miguel goes. It's just I was like, "Yes, bring in all of my favorites. Let's bring in these songs," which you have, like Miguel Skywalker, which actually I listened to the Spanish version of that song way more than English version, that the other day when the English version came on my Spotify, I was like, "Wait, I don't know these lyrics anymore."
I didn't even know there was a Spanish version. I've been listening to the English version of Skywalker. When that first came out, I was like, this is my joint. It's on repeat.
Girl, you need to listen to the Spanish version. It goes, "Miguel, if for those who don't know, he's a Blexican." Goes black mother, Mexican father, and there's actually a documentary free on YouTube of him like going to Mexico with his dad and little brother, and it's really cool. He goes to meet his family and stuff. That like it was his first trip to Mexico, and it's like a really cool story. And I always love like seeing Latinos getting more in touch with their Latino side. So yeah, 100% goes. He even did a song for Coco, like bringing out his Mexican side. So I hope he does more music in Spanish, because I know he's really doing more stuff in English and is viewed more as a black artist. But he's got to be viewed as a Latino artist too, because that's what he is. He's
I
Afro.
yeah.
He's a combination of you and me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest though. I wasn't. I'm gonna finish it, but I wasn't really feeling it because I mean I know it's a competition. Like honestly, if you took all that away from it, it was just like some baby reality show. I could sit down and like actually like watch it. But, like I'm here and I'm like, okay, yeah, they've got basically the three best rappers around out here, but I'll be honest, they kind of needed Drake
One definitely goes. Maybe they'll bring Drake next season.
to be out there. Like,
I
let's be
mean,
honest.
they paid Cardi B so much money to be on the show, way more than what the winnings was. I forget exactly how much, but she got bank. So I mean, like, I wouldn't say replace Cardi, but like Netflix, you got the money, you can bring Drake in.
Like, I mean, don't get rid of Cardi because she's. I take her in small doses. Like, I'm be honest, she's way out there to be like. But I'm like, you know what? She's cool though.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, don't get rid of her. But yeah, just make it a panel of four.
Yeah.
Go to the six, see what's happening up north.
See if there's any rappers in Canada.
Exactly.
And
Like let's. Oh no,
it
I'm
was
sorry.
no, no, you're good, you're good. And kind of what's funny too is just like with the show, like how short of a time they have between each like challenge. So they have to come up with these rhymes. And some of these songs like legit could be on the radio right now, especially the last two episodes. So I can't wait till you get those and you'll be like, okay, you were right, the show's great. Because like at the beginning it's a little slow to get into, but like by the last two episodes, especially, oh, the finale song that D Smoke does, like,
Mhm.
if you have not heard that, people, go do yourself a favor. Even if you don't watch the show, it is on YouTube. What he does is just fire.
Does he get signed, right? Because some of these like shows, this is my biggest trigger. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are great, but really the only people you hear about are the ones from American Idol, and
Mhm,
I'm like, okay, well, The Voice had some people who were like, they could sing. So that's my big one of my biggest problems with these type of shows. Like, is he signed? Is he going to come out with anything? It's like don't
mhm.
sit up here and give him like this money and then have him disappear.
Right,
I
right.
want to buy some stuff.
Well, right now, Ali Dominique, Flawless Real Talk, D Smoke, Caleb Colossus, the four of them have albums out right now. I don't know about the rest of them, but those 4 do have albums that you can listen to on Spotify or go buy their albums, and definitely I think 2 Beans has been on a few things. Have you gotten to the Beans versus, Flawless, rap battle yet?
Not yet, but you said it was good,
Mhm.
so I'm
There's a
definitely
lot.
gonna give it a watch.
I was so pissed that they put the 2 Puerto Ricans against each other because 1, both of them are so good. 2, it was an elimination, so one of the 2 have to go, and goes, "The line that is dropped, I'm not gonna tell you who, because then it shows you who won, but one of the lines that's dropped basically makes Cardi, Tip, and, Chance, like, fall over."
Okay.
So,
Now wait. Can any of them spit in Spanish though?
yes, there D-Smoke D-Smoke is before going on the show, he's a music and Spanish teacher. So even though like Flawless is Latino, he hasn't spit in Spanish, but D-Smoke, who's not Latino but grew up with Black and Mexican people in Inglewood, he spits in Spanish. And fire.
Okay.
That's why I'm telling you, like by the end of the show, you're gonna be thanking me. You're gonna be thanking me. All right. Anyways, so we're gonna go into our recent movies watch, and this week is just gonna be what I recently watched, and that is gonna be All in the Fight for Democracy. And so this is a documentary about voter suppression and uses Stacey Abrams' gubernatorial race in Georgia in 2018 as kind of like the catalyst for it. So it goes through all of American history with voter suppression, but it shows like it starts the story from that little small gubernatorial race, which I love documentaries that do this, that like take something that seems small and contained and really shows you like the ramifications that not only that it can have in the future, but also all the things that happened in the past that made things like that possible. Even though she did lose her race in 2018, she did grow the margins of Black voters in Georgia, which basically had ramifications for this 2020 election here. Also, quick reminder for anyone that is living in Georgia that will be 18 by January 5th, please, please, please register to vote. You can register by December 7th. And goes, I don't care who you vote for. I do, but I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. Goes, but you should use that power that people have fought for, people have died for the right to vote. And just watching this and seeing just some of the most powerful women in politics, just talking about how important it is to vote, how important it is to have your voice heard, how important it is to vote for not just the president, but everything down ballot and things like that. And just all the hard work that Stacey Abrams has done in the state of Georgia was very inspirational. And it was just like, okay, now I need to get to work because it can't just be her, it needs to be all of us.
And yeah, no, that's worth a watch. So I'm definitely gonna have to watch that. Um, I mean, I haven't watched any movies lately, but no, like after what's been going on, and seeing how because I've constantly been told by my parents, and even when I was at church, they'd be like, your vote is very important. That's your voice. And if it wasn't important, they wouldn't try to silence it or take it away.
Mhm. Right.
So to see her do the work, you know, to help people get their voice out there, get their vote out there, it's worth the watch. So I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to watch.
And it is on Amazon right now. And it just shows that it can be done everywhere. And something my mom says all the time is she goes, that if there is an election and everyone in America, like anyone who's eligible to vote, votes, and the person that wins is not the person that she wants, she'll be happy because it's majority rule. What's happening a lot now in our politics is that not everyone is voting. Either they're disenfranchised because of all the different voter suppression tactics that happens, or they think that their vote doesn't matter. And so then we have people in office that aren't actually representative of their people. So if you want people to represent you in offices from the highest in the land, which is the president, all the way to like your local school boards and stuff like that, go out and vote.
Exactly, because I'm glad you said that, because people are like, "Oh, you have to just vote for president." No, vote for everyone,
Hmm.
like like the lowest level of government. That
Yeah,
way, you can see the change that you want.
and not just every 4 years goes. You do have midterm elections. You got special elections. I'm sure there's elections in 2021. Obviously, the one in Georgia, the runoff in January. But I'm sure there's other ones. So yeah, just wanted to highlight that and show how important voting is. And just, yeah, because it doesn't matter what party you're a part of, goes just vote.
I agree. I don't care. I just want to see 100%.
Hmm.
Like one day before I die, I would like to see what happens if 100% of Americans get to vote.
Right? I agree 100%. So now we're going to go into our anything extra. So, what is the anything extra that you would like to talk about?
So during this whole pandemic, I decided I wanted to play Pokemon. So I've got Pokemon Shield. Let me tell you how addictive this game is. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, yeah, you have the regular formula of, you go out and you catch Pokemon and you battle the gym trainers. But they kind of flipped it on its head because, like, I haven't played. Well, I did kind of play Sun, but like they have like these little mini games before you go in to face the gym leader, and I'm like, oh, this is what's up. And then they have this thing called the wild area, basically. And as soon as you connect, like I just started going online, and I'm like, oh, you can see other people, you can camp with them. If you talk to them, they give you stuff. It's like really dope, and I actually feel like a Pokemon trainer because I'm like, oh yeah. I
Is it like
mean,
the Animal Crossing of Pokemon?
it really is, but without all the commitment, where you're sitting up here like, "Hi, are you okay? Hi, are you okay?" Because if you do not check in with your animals and Animal Crossings, they will leave you, and then you'll be like, "What did I do wrong?"
So you don't have to check in with your Pokemon.
You do not have to check in with the Pokemon every day, and they will not sit there and count down the days since you last visited. You don't have
I'm
to be
just
like,
like,
"I had work,
my favorite thing
not
too, like
feeling
with the Animal
sorry."
Crossing, and I was like, these animals so petty. It's like it has been 15 days since you last seen me. It was like I was busy.
It was funny because one year Janelle was playing, I think it was New Leaf, and she
Mhm.
almost failed sophomore year because she was like, I have to check in with all these animals and I cannot leave theirs. I'm like, girl, if they move, they move. I don't care.
It's like the Tamagotchi. Remember Tamagotchis when we were little?
Oh my,
I was like, this motherfucker died again.
one day I just let him die. I was like, you know what? You're too much.
You're gonna
I
sit on
gotta
the
let
shelf and die. Okay. Anything more on Pokemon that you have?
actually that was it. Just if you get it, definitely check out the wild area. Definitely do the raids. Like you get a lot of cool stuff, and plus you get like all sorts of Pokemon. Like there's 400 that you gotta collect anyway. Over
Oh,
400.
oh,
So
nice.
yeah.
Hey, so I'm gonna go into my anything extra, which is how the hell did I not know that there was a Hamilton mixtape? I was blessed with this week, blessed with this realization that there is a Hamilton mixtape. I just want to just name some of the people that have worked on this mixtape. So you got Nas, Busta Rhymes, Usher, Sia, Miguel, Queen Latifah, Kelly Clarkson, Alicia Keys, Jimmy Fallon, Ashanti, Ja Rule, Jill Scott, Dessa, Andra Day, Wiz Khalifa, John Legend, Common, Ingrid Michaelson, and Chance the Rapper. Goes. This is one of my favorite musicals, although coming in with another hot take, In the Heights is better. His first musical is better than Hamilton. But I have a bias. I'm Latino, and that's a Latino story, In the Heights. So just listen to that music, and it feels like home.
Okay. You know it's got a movie coming out in Heights, right?
It was supposed to come out this summer, 2020, but COVID.
Uh
And like one of the favorite singers right now, her name is Leslie Grace. She's Dominican, and she was gonna play Nina in the movie. So I hope that it'll come out in 2021, but who knows with the movie landscape and with movie theaters and whenever we do eventually get this vaccine, when things will go back to normal for us to actually see movies. So,
sure.
because if it does come out in like a drive-in, I may drive a few hours out just to go see this movie in a drive-in though, because like
Will I
I
cry?
Yes, because they're changing the story a little bit in it, and also like in the original musical, which they've changed on stage, but the music, if you listen to like the music on YouTube or Spotify or something, it does have like a shout out to Donald Trump. But that was back before he ran for president. I think the musical came out like somewhere in like 2009, 2008, that time. So he didn't show his true colors yet. So it was like, I'm gonna be rich like Donald Trump or something. Like it was some like line like that, and they were like,
Mhm.
we have changed that line.
I'm not gonna lie though. I thought he was safe. I kind of went there. Was like, oh, he's cool. He's safe.
Nothing's gonna happen with him in the future. 'Cause Lin Manuel didn't have the 2020 vision. Mm. But yeah, definitely go listen to that album because you do have where people are just singing the actual songs, just you have other famous people singing the songs, but then you do have where they're just sampling it and they change it like Wiz Khalifa like Washington on Your Side, where the original song is talking about like it would be nice to have George Washington on your side, and Wiz Khalifa changes to it'd be nice to have some Washingtons on your side, basically talk about money. Like I want some Washingtons. So that's one of the more funner songs, but then you also have like Who Tells Your Story, which is kind of comes from like the last song in the musical, but the song on the mixtape with Common and Ingrid Michaelson like really goes into some of the issues and things that are happening now day and age. So again, so just some more topical stuff, some 2020 stuff that you could be like, yep, that makes sense. Well, yeah, goes. Those are all of my topics. Is there anything extra you would like to say, or anything extra you're thinking about as our conversations have gone through?
Well, since you brought up an album, I was thinking about this one that I had listened to recently. And like, of course, I was working out and I was like, huh, don't sleep on Don Tolliver. Don't do it. Like,
Mm.
he has an album out called Heaven or Hell.
Okay.
And like, if you like remixes, you can listen to the Chop Not Slop version. It's pretty dope too. But nah, I liked it. Um, if anyone's familiar with, because you're familiar with Travis Scott, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you listen to the Jack Boys album,
Yep. Yep.
yeah, that's him basically. So
Okay. Okay. So yeah, definitely send me that those so I can listen.
yeah.
But anyways, that has been the end of Soul Talk. Thank you so much, Kelly, for joining me because my conversations with you are always so much fun and we are always laughing too much. I'm sorry for anyone that where there's just long spats of just us laughing and not saying anything. That always happens when her and I get together. But where can the people find you?
Um, I'm on Twitter, so Callie Francis one on Twitter. That's my Twitter handle, and I'm on Insta, Callie McGalley 43.
Okay, okay. And you can find me at SoulGovin on Twitter and at soul.k.govin on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for joining Soul Talk, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.